Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. This video is essentially explaining how I went through the lowest point in my life and how I got out of it. We've got Poppy, we've got my laptop, we are ready to go. There's a lot to get through, so grab a seat, get comfy, get a blanket if it's not too hot outside, grab a drink, coffee, tea, Poppy, whatever, and sit back and relax, and I'm going to talk at you for the next however long. It's so important, I think, to talk about these things because there's such limited resource out there, and I really want my YouTube to be a space where we can have these in-depth conversations because this stuff deserves time. If you are in the lowest point of your life, or you have a loved one or friend who is, I don't know, this just might help someone, and that's the least I can do. So the backstory for me is I lost my lovely dad to suicide on July 5th, 2022. And that was really the trigger into rock bottom. When I say the lowest point, there wasn't really one point, like one day. It was a period in my life. And it was probably across a good year to 2 years. And to give you sort of a sense of how low I was, it was really, really tough. Oh God, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. Yeah. It was a really, really low point in my life. And I think what people don't really talk about is like, you want to get out of it. No one who is going through depression or whatever it is wants that. No one does. But it's so hard to get out of it. It would be to the point that I barely saw my friends. I wouldn't put any effort into anything that I loved anymore. I was very unhealthy. I ate really, really poorly. I didn't exercise and I put on weight and I wasn't feeling confident in myself. It would take me a lot to get out of bed, to go on a walk, to just do nice things. And my nervous system was in dorsal vagal, which is basically like fight or flight extreme. It's the most extreme state that your nervous system can be in. My boyfriend Jack, if he dropped something on the floor, like, it would make me jump out of my skin scared. If I was in an argument or conflict, it would be really bad because I was very, very defensive. I couldn't see, like there was no self-awareness because there's just no capacity for anything else other than feeling crap. But enough about that. Let's talk about the things that actually helped me get out of that. So number one, therapy. I had therapy for 2.5 years after my dad died, and I started it, I'd say, probably 8 months after my dad died. It was the best decision I ever made in my life. It literally changed my life forever. It made me a better person to myself. It made me a better girlfriend. It made me a better friend. The biggest thing that therapy gave me was love for myself. But therapy also gives you an outlet. It gives you someone who is completely outside. It's someone who is just there for you. I always compare it to running. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it before a session. You do kind of dread it a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. Then you do it and afterwards you feel so much better for it. It really is like going on a run or exercising. Like, you just feel so good after it. My friend always says this about exercising. She always says, you'll never regret it. Like, you never regret exercising. And I think the same applies to therapy. You'll never regret a session. I was really lucky enough that my therapist was so supportive of me and what I needed, in that it was all on my terms. It was on my terms to speak about what I wanted to speak about. It was on my terms when we decided to finish. And on that point, the other thing I'd say is I don't believe that you will ever finish therapy. I wish that more people would be more open to therapy. I think there's still such a stigma, and it's really sad because therapy is incredible. Number two, slowing down. I mentioned that my nervous system was in fight or flight constantly. Something that really, really helped me was reminding myself to just slow down. I don't mean in life and career, like stop being so ambitious, nothing like that. Like, I mean literally, you're brushing your teeth and you're going, scrolling on TikTok, brushing your teeth, and I'd be like, oh, I'll just slow down. And then I put my phone down and then I would just slowly brush my teeth. My nervous system, I'd feel, would just weirdly just like calm down. Or I don't know, I'd be doing the dishes and I'm like, move that, do that. Just slow down. And over time of doing that and practicing it and becoming more aware of it, it helped massively to bring my nervous system down, which just helps calm you. It helps you be more aware. It helps you be more present in life. And ultimately, it makes you happier. Number three, getting those happy endorphins through working out. Exercise now, for me, given everything I've been through, it's a non-negotiable. If I don't get out of the house, move, even go on a walk for 20 minutes at the bare minimum, I get very, very, very low. I think you have to learn that within yourself. Some people really just don't love exercising and it just doesn't work with them. It might be that actually you need 20 minutes to read a book. Some form of self-care is what I'm sort of saying. And with working out, obviously, that gives you such a great routine. It gives you endorphins, it gives you strength. It's so important. And this was one of the hardest things I went through when I was in my really, really low point, was trying to exercise. I wanted to so badly. I wanted to just be able to be like the girlies who get up in the morning and go on a 5k run before work. But it was so unbelievably hard, and that's okay. Like, it doesn't need to happen overnight. I slowly but surely, in sort of little periods and little stints, depending on what was going on in my life, I did couch to 5k, which was really, really helpful to like ease into it and get into it and build stamina. I would always dread it so much. My boyfriend literally, obviously not physically, but like he'd have to like drag me out of the house to just simply go on a walk. It was starting with small baby steps and then going into running and then doing a bit more running, and then I just suddenly, you just build a routine and you just build love for it, and you get the runner's high and you get the efficacy of it. And I think also linked to that, it's being with nature and being outside. It really, really helps. Okay, number 4, being more aware of myself. And I mean in the sense of being aware of how I am, because sometimes I will have it, especially I think with grief, where I will feel really angry and really low and frustrated, and I'd be sort of unintentionally taking it out on the people closest to me. But I wouldn't understand. I literally would say to my partner, I'd be like, I don't understand why I'm feeling like this. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know. And it would frustrate me. It'd be like, why am I feeling like this? I don't know what it is. Often I'd find more times than not, it was something deeper than what I thought it was. And it's really strange. It's really weird. But it is the best feeling when you realise what it is and you give yourself space and grace to be able to explore that and go, actually, I think it might be this. And then you can actually sit with those emotions and sit with them for a bit, have a cup of tea, and then call it a day and go on. But yeah, being aware of how you are, waking up in the morning and actually thinking, am I okay today? As you're going on, just checking in with yourself all the time, because you deserve that, right? Like, everything you've been through, you deserve to just have someone checking in with you and just making sure you're okay, because you live your life with yourself the most. Okay, number 5 is diet. What you put into yourself is what you will get out. And I mean that from all forms of mental health, therapy. But I mean with eating, I would actually find that like I would eat a Domino's the day after, I would almost feel hungover. Being in fight or flight for as long as I was, it raises your cortisol levels, and there's a direct link between cortisol levels being high and then gut health being really bad. If you look at a graph, my therapy sort of graph and my cortisol levels and my fight or flight coming down, the bloating and the gut health also came down. But that's not just down to the cortisol, that is also down to me, as I said, eating healthier. But it's all wrapped up in one. It's kind of holistic. Like, you start exercising, you do therapy, you then start eating well because of the exercise and because you're taking care of yourself more. It's like all of these things are wrapped up in one. But diet is so important because it makes you sleep better as well. It's another whole thing. Moving on now to things that didn't help me. Number 1 is expectations on others. What I mean by this is people can't read your mind. I think when you're in such a low point in your life, there is this sort of expectation on others, kind of selfishly to be honest, because you just don't have capacity for anyone to just know what's going on for you and have empathy and respect for you all the time. And don't get me wrong, like, I think that there's a level of that's the bare minimum that you should have from people around you supporting you. Like, I remember there was times where I'd almost get annoyed at Jack for not doing what I needed, but I never asked him or told him what I needed, and he is like sat there like, I don't know what you need, I don't know what's going on right now, you're not communicating to me. I honestly say, like, the moment you stop putting expectations on others and stop expecting people to read your mind and know what to say, know what to do, and know how to support you, is the moment that you can open the doors to support and love for yourself. It's the kindest thing you can do, is actually quite overtly communicate to other people and what you need, because then you will get the support that you need. If you stay quiet and you just expect other people to understand, you are living in a dream world and you're not going to get the support that you need. Number 2 is riding the highs too high. This definitely didn't help. When I talk about low points in life and sort of that low chapter for me and everything, I described all the heavy side of things. There are days where you feel good. There are days that you feel at peace. There's days that you feel happy. It's not like in the movies where you are literally in bed wallowing every day eating ice cream. It's literally like this all the time. You are up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, and it is exhausting. Exhausting for you, most importantly, but also exhausting for those people around you. And I found it really hard when I would have a good day, because I would love it so much, because no one wants to go back down. It's not your fault, it's not purposeful. I'd find that if I had a really, really good day, I'd love it so much. And by the way, I mean day, it could be a week, it could be 3 days. So I'd start like booking things in with friends, I'd start making loads of effort with people, and then I'd go down again, and then I'd have messages to respond to, I'd have social commitments that I really didn't feel like going to, and then my lows felt even lower. And so I think it's also really important to try your best. Obviously it's going to be like this, but trying to keep yourself a bit more like this when it's like that can really, really help, because yeah, that definitely didn't help me. Okay, number 3, and this is, I always find this really funny when people say this, doom scrolling and social media as a whole. As someone who posts on social media and like kind of wants to do this for a living, this is kind of backwards for me to say, but it's so important. Social media, if not used correctly and in the right way, is really, really dangerous. I found with myself, I would doom scroll until probably about 1 a.m. 2 a.m. every night, which meant I only got like 5-6 hours sleep, which was really detrimental to my mood, and so on and so forth. And so to break that routine and break that cycle, as soon as I stopped and I really reduced it, I felt such a difference in myself. I was sleeping better, I was in a better mood with people, I felt more up for doing exercise, I was less tired, obviously. It was just incredible. And what I did was I swapped scrolling for reading. You'd think I like read loads of books. I really haven't read that many. I literally read 2 pages and I fall asleep, and the next day I'd have to go back a page. So I basically read like 1 page every night. It's really bad, but I love it, and it really, really, really helps me. Also with social media, it is a For You page at the end of the day. Obviously you get things that are fed to you that you can't control, but nowadays with both platforms, TikTok and Instagram specifically, you can curate your feeds. Like TikTok, not in such a manual sense, but I find with TikTok it's so responsive. So say your For You page is full of things that don't make you happy, just start searching things that do make you happy, or swipe over to the STEM For You page, which is safe and all about learning. Instagram, you can actually do something manual where you go into your settings and you can actually curate your feed, and you can turn certain topics off, and you can tap posts as well that you don't like and say not interested. It is important to limit your screen time, but if you do want to scroll and you do like social media, make it good for you. Number 4 is interesting, and it's waiting to feel something before doing something. I am so guilty of this, and I think this also links back to when it's high, and when it's low, it's low. When it was high for me, I'd love it. I'd get the feeling of motivation, I'd go on a run, I'd do this, I'd feel like, oh my god, let's change my whole life, let's go on Pinterest and blah blah blah. And then it got to the point that if I was like, meh, like, you know, a bit of a low day, I was okay, and then it would be like going on a run, I would be waiting for this feeling of motivation to come back, because I felt that I needed that in order to go. Let me just say this one sentence: what you're not changing, you're choosing. It got to a point in my life where I literally said out loud to Jack and to myself, do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stop talking about things. I'm gonna stop talking about going on a run. I'm gonna stop talking about this, that and the other, and I'm just gonna start. I'm gonna do it. And that was at a good point in my life where I was really coming out of it, and you know, therapy was really helping, and I made some really good choices. But it is a choice at the end of the day. Talking about going on a run and starting exercising and starting to diet, just do it. Like and that sounds so stupid, because as I said, like Jack literally had to drag me outside to go on a run, but it's really hard to explain. But I just got to a point where I was like, I'm just gonna do things more, and yeah, that was like the best turning point for me, because you can wait 5 days. I was still waiting, you're still waiting. That feeling of motivation might not ever come until you start doing the thing that will help you get that endorphins and motivation. So yeah, it's sort of breaking that cycle and getting out of your head and just doing it, and then you will feel all of the good feelings after. But it is easier said than done, of course. Okay, number 5, and this is honestly, I think it's safe to say actually, the most important thing of today's video: not having love for myself. When you've gone through things in life, it's easier to be angry with yourself for things. Once you get to a point where you can accept that things aren't your fault, and you're doing the best you can every day, you then start to forgive yourself. We all are human and we all make mistakes. And of course, when you're experiencing depression and grief and whatever it is, you are going to do things wrong. You're going to say wrong things, but you can't beat yourself up over it because you're doing the best you can with the cards that were dealt to you. Sorry if this has changed. My SD card ran out of storage. Honestly, I'd say that's the key to happiness, is loving yourself. And I know that sounds so cringy, but it really, really is. And as I said before, therapy massively helps with that. It really, really, truly does. And it's also about giving yourself grace when it is shit, when you do have the low days, when you do have the hard times. Like, it's okay. It's okay to feel this. It's kind of understandable, right? Given everything you've been through. And I think having more grace for yourself, having more empathy for yourself and love is so important. Okay, now I want to talk about where I am today. The headline is, I'm happy. I'm really, really happy. I'm not the same person as I was. Definitely not the same person as before my dad died, but also not the same person as a year ago. And don't get me wrong, like, I'm still the same person, obviously. I am more myself than I've ever been. I am calmer as a person. I'm more grounded. I know myself better. I love myself more. I'm happier to be around, I think. Everything is just better. My routine is better, I sleep better, I have more boundaries with myself and others that are really healthy. My skin is 10 times better. My hair has grown over 11 inches in the last year and a half. It literally used to be here a year and a half ago. And don't get me wrong, on top of all of this and being happy and everything, I still have my bad days. Of course I do. And everyone does. I think just for me, given everything I've been through and my mental health and everything, the bad days can sometimes be, on average, a lot worse than a normal person's bad day. But that's okay. That's fine. Because, and this is the biggest thing that I want you to take away from this video and I want to leave you on, is I now know that the bad days don't last forever. It gets better. I honestly could actually talk about this topic for so long, but this has been really nice to chat and share this stuff with you, and I really hope that this has helped you in some way, even a tiny weeny bit. If you like this video, then subscribe for more. Enjoy the rest of your day, evening, morning, whatever you've got going on, and be kind to yourself, take care of yourself. I'm sending you a lot of love and a big hug, and I will see you next week. Love you.